British MPs have backed the recognition of Palestine as a state in the last 24 hours in what's seen as a breakthrough, therefore, and an historic move. The Israeli embassy in London condemned the move, though, despite the motion being non-binding. But despite all the recognition and support that Palestine's been getting in recent years, it has been a long road. There are some of the key moments in Palestine's efforts to become a state. It declared independence back in 1988. By November 1995, Palestine was already recognised by over 100 nations. Fast forward 2 years ago, then it was upgraded to being a non-member observer state at the UN. And earlier this month, Sweden became the first major EU member to recognise Palestine. And then what happened in the last 24 hours in the UK happened. These steps, nonetheless, though, haven't prevented Israel from carrying out what many see as a legal occupation. It continues. Let's get some thoughts from Fatah's senior foreign policy advisor, Dr. Hussam Zomlot, joining us now. Hi, sir. Well, the Palestinian people getting more recognition, albeit unofficial, from the UK now. But still, are you any forward to getting this two-state solution? Do you feel any happier tonight about what happened in London last night? Give us your thoughts.
Of course, we are delighted at the news from London last night. This was a vote for rights. This was a vote to show the will of the British people. The British Parliament is not just a symbolic house, it's a political house that represents the British people. And yes, the vote is unbinding for the British government, but I do believe that the government will find it difficult to totally and utterly disregard it. They will have to heed the call of their nation and of their people, and the landslide of the vote is striking. And I believe the government, if it wants to be democratic, would have to find a formula to implement the will of its own nation. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, international roles in our conflict is vital. And Britain itself has had a major role in our own catastrophe by promising our land to a third party without consulting us in 1917, the infamous Balfour Declaration, and then by Britain aiding and helping Israel to be established and recognizing Israel once it was established, and still not remedying, not really curing that mistake that it did. So today the British people and their representatives in the Parliament have delivered their verdict that Britain has a historic responsibility to act. And we know that the road is still long.
So do you feel more empowered to be able to deal with Israel, to try to sort this out, thrash something out at last?
Of course, because Israel for all these years was arguing that the Palestinians are not a nation, and this was never a state before, and it's at best disputed territory. So international recognitions are vital and paramount, and Israel itself would not have been established without international approval, support and recognitions. And therefore it is important in our long walk to freedom and our long struggle to attain and ensure international legitimacy and international support. But this is not going to do on its own. As you said earlier, Israel is still stealing our land piece by piece. Israel is still building facts on the ground illegally in what would be the Palestinian state. And therefore now we want action, not just promises and words. And that's why we are going to the Security Council to seek international definite resolution for an expiry date for Israel's occupation and dismantlement of all these settlements. And we call upon the British government and the governments of the international community to support us in this Security Council attempt. And we're also going ahead with our accountability of Israel. So Israel has to be and must be held accountable against its own crimes in Gaza.
So just picking up on what you were saying there, just picking on what you were saying there very briefly, because we're about to run out of time, but talking about the settlements there, the illegal settlements. Yes, they are illegal under international law. So why hasn't international law done more to get rid of them?
Yes, that's exactly the point. International law, without the support of superpowers, without the support of America, the United States of America, and major European countries, Russia, China, what have you, Brazil, we will not provide the sticks necessary. And we know that Israel will continue doing the illegalities so long as it feels that it has a culture of impunity and it simply can do it. And today we are going into a different direction. Our president in the UN, and you have his picture right now delivering the speech, few weeks ago, he said to the world that we are not going to continue on the same path like the last 21 years. Israel has been deceiving us, and Israel has been using negotiation as a cover-up for their theft. And we are seeking a new road, and this road is international legitimacy, international universal values,
Dr.
international
Zomlot,
enforcement, and I think this is the future.
Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Hussam Zomlot there, Fatah's Senior Foreign Policy Advisor. Appreciate it.